It's
All
getting
right,
cold,
everybody.
man. Hey, go ahead.
Everybody, we're back for tailgating. Bruce and with Daryl and with Marcus, and guess what? Ooh, the championships is over. We're just going to give our final thoughts about it. You know, I'll just give real quick just to get us started. I think it goes right along with your theory, Marcus. But, you know, I saw Wimby. He was up there, you know, saying that they dominated the whole game, but they just couldn't overcome their mistakes. And the only times that it seems like the only time the Knicks were in the lead was in the right time at the end.
Yeah.
But, you know, for me, it's like, you know, that's, you know, spectacular about football. It's a one-game event. And so, but, you know, when it's a 7-game series, I think it's going to even out who's the better team. And I would have to say the Knicks were the better team. You know, when you got 7 games, anyone could, you know, they can lose any game or maybe 2, but 7 games, I think that shows who was the better team. But before we get to your discussion, I want to ask you a trivia question.
What you got?
And you guys will probably get this. Well, this does not go back to a Wayback Machine, but I thought so many people thought that this was going to be a starting of a dynasty for San Antonio, but they lost. And they're heartbroken. But some are saying the right things. They're not over. They're coming back. And they're a very young team. So do they have a chance of winning next year? So I looked up. So what is the last team that has ever lost in the NBA championship, but then the very next year won it?
That's.
Don't say it yet. We're going to let everybody.
Oh yeah. Okay, we can
answer.
answer that. I think I can narrow it down to probably 2 teams, but I think.
All right.
Yeah.
It's kind of you know, and there's 2 teams. It's kind of a weird answer to it, but okay, that's my question for this time. Just to think it's a little relevant to the finals. But anyway, who wants to go first? One of you guys go ahead and take it. I kind of said my spiel. I think the best team won.
I mean, listen, I've said it before. I'll say it again, right? You have to learn how to win, and that comes in the fashion of losing. But that's nothing against the Spurs in terms of just the talent on that team. I think it came all down to inexperience. They're a young team. They're on a huge stage for the first time. They had the opportunity to win. I mean, they had a lead in every single one of the games that they lost, but they just
double digit.
Could not find a way to close. And obviously the mental mind, you know, screw in terms of just losing a 29-point lead. You like never recover. They're gonna wake up in the middle of the night in 1939, like, 29-point lead, I lost it. And I mean that's what's gonna end up happening.
True.
That's gonna haunt them for years to come. I mean, it was just a big moment. The coach was, you know, he's a relatively younger guy. You know, they got out coached, they got outplayed, and at the end of the day, when it came down to like the clutch moments, I mean, listen, New York did what New York did. They were just a better all-around team. I wanted San Antonio to win, keep it here in the state of Texas. But listen, man, New Yorkers, man, them the worst fans in the world.
They're disgusting.
They're horrible. They're disgusting people. And I hope this makes it all the way to New York. Yeah, come find me. Anyway, but listen, at the end of the day, they hadn't won since 1973. All right, they deserve it. I'm actually happy to see Bronson winning, man. He's a good young man. I love his demeanor. The first thing he did after winning was go straight over to the Spurs coach, give him a handshake. That shows character. I'm all about that.
And you know what? I was disappointed in the Spurs, you know, because like I said, all season long, that's who I was. Around mid-season or so, that's when I started saying, okay, wait a minute. The Spurs have something special. And they do. We're not going to take that away from them. You know, they do. But like Marcus said, man, they got out-coached. They got outplayed. And what do I always say about that one player that come through in the clutch? Man, Brunson is a dog. Man, he is a
45
dog.
Points.
Man.
And, you know, him and Karl Anthony Towns, man, good combination. But here's the X factor. The X factor for the New York Knicks was OG.
Oh, yeah.
OG
Yes.
All season long, he was missing in action. Some people forgot he was on the team.
Yeah.
Going to the playoff. Well, and actually he started about 3 weeks before the playoffs. He started showing up. And I was like, oh, okay. And you know what I did? I started using them on DraftKings.
Of course.
Shout out to DraftKings.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man, that was the X factor. Man, he came through in the clutch time and time and time again behind his two superstars, man. So, yeah, congratulations, New York Knicks. I mean, hey, you do deserve it. That was a good
Right.
series. You had a good season. Hey, man, let's let's also congratulate the San Antonio Spurs. I mean, you
Yeah.
made it. You
Yeah.
made it, and
They made
that's
it
that's
young.
cool. That's
They
cool. Yeah.
young and listen, man. San Antonio's had their they've had a run, man. They what 5 championships in like 19 years. Like that's a hell of a run that they had under Pop and Duncan. Maybe it wasn't 19 years, probably more like 17, 18. But again, they had just an incredible win streak within that time period. Obviously, there were some other teams that had some wins and some championships in there as well. I still kind of put the asterisk on the 99 season, but the other 4 rings, like straight up dynasty type, playing there. So they'll be back, man. That's the good thing about that team. If they're able to hold that nucleus together. Don't know if that coach is going to survive this here because, again, man, somebody's got to take the fall on this one. I think it's going to end up being him. But if they can keep Wemby healthy and keep the core of that team. They need what they need though, Bruce. You know what they need? They need a crazy person. They need a Draymond Green.
Lunatic.
Oh,
Uh,
yes.
they need a crazy person, somebody that can get in the, like Draymond gets in people's heads and throws them off. They don't have that person.
Dennis
Yeah.
Rodman would get in your
Then
head.
they need a Dennis Rodman. They need that crazy person that can get in
Vernon
their head.
Maxwell.
Maxwell. Somebody. They need that X factor.
No, I agree with that. I'm hoping that it doesn't turn out for Wemby. When you were saying that, they'll be back, they made a mistake. But, go back to Tony Romo. He had that one mistake where ball slipped through his hands, lost that one, never got over that. That became his defining moment for his career. He just couldn't win it. So I hope, this doesn't come back and haunt him all the time. It just can't never win it.
Yeah. Whatever. He's probably one of the greatest commentators of all time, and he's working to get there for sure, man. I love me some Tony Romo in the booth, man. He's doing his thing.
Listen, but let's kind of go back to New York, man. Like I said, man, obviously the Rockets beat them in '94. I think I think it was what was the finger roll with Patrick Ewing was that against? Was it against the Reggie Miller and the who was Reggie Miller? Yeah, when he had the finger, the Pacers, and it didn't go in.
Yeah.
And then John Starks and his poor performance against the Rockets in '94. Obviously, the 99 season was a little bit of a kind of an anomaly with the short and abbreviated season due to the players' lockout. But listen, man, after 50 years. New York winning is a good thing. And here's the last thing I'll say, and I'll shut up, is that, and this kind of goes back to some earlier conversations we were having around the fact that I think we're moving away from the dynasty period of basketball. And I think we're going to see a situation where it's just going to be very, very rare instances where you're going to see these multiple championships, because this is the 8th consecutive season with a new champion at the helm of the NBA. So, yeah, we'll see.
Do you think there's much chance that there always is a chance, but the Knicks could repeat? I mean, they look really strong this year. I think that all the time. When the Celtics won, I thought, well, they're going to repeat. Oklahoma, they could repeat, but it's tough.
I'll give you this. This is the X factor right there when you say that, Bruce. And here's what it all boils down to me. Jalen Brunson took the hit financially to go be part of a winning team, and not many players do that. And because of that, I think that if they can hold the majority of their team together, it's a good chance New York can repeat. That boy Jalen Brunson's a bad boy, but I don't think that's going to be a precedent. I don't think a lot of talented guys that are still at the height of their career are going to do what Jalen Brunson did, take the pay cut to go be part of a winning team and go after the chip. I don't think that's going to happen. I think people will rather go get their payday, and that's what's going to keep the league changing champions every single year.
Did you see that?
But what would you do?
I'm going after the money, baby. Unless I already got the money. Jalen, he comes from a decent family. His dad played ball. I don't know, if he made some wise investments, and he didn't necessarily need the money. A lot of these kids, they come from some very harsh circumstances. So yeah, they got a chance to go make the money, create some generational wealth. They're gonna go after the paycheck every single
Yeah.
time.
Well, I remember Kobe. They asked Kobe about that. He always take the top dollar. He says that's not my fault. That's the owner's fault. They're going to be too chintzy to pay everybody fair. That's fair enough. And then Dirk gave his discount to Dallas, and look how Mark Cuban rewarded him with nobody. So you got to be sure the management's going to use your money for building the team and not just whatever.
Yeah.
But did you see that thing in the paper? Or in paper. That's Wayback Machine. Do you see that thing on the internet where they're comparing?
The boy has. I got to go check my front yard, my porch, to see if the kid.
See if the paper's there.
The paper.
Right. See if the article's in there. Going to tell you about. Anyway, where they were going with Jalen Brunson's salary, and I forgot what it said, but it was something like he makes around $40 million a year, but then the federal government makes like 36% of it, and then the state government took 10%. If they almost took half of it, and then
more than half,
and then the management. Then his agent gets all this thing. Anyway, he was making like around upper 30s. I forgot the number, but he ended up with $13 million. Still nice, but not that amount you really think he is. The government gets almost half of it. It's just crazy. Yeah. So. I don't think 13 million, but it's just amazing me. You see these guys with these salaries, and you think, shoot, in 3 years, he'll have $100 million in the bank. It takes longer than that. So,
invest wisely, man. Invest wisely. That's all I got to say, man. But
I think, isn't it?
I've said a long time ago. I think, especially for the NBA, getting a lot of their their younger talent from these, let's just say these distressed. Maybe that's not the right word to use, but let's just say environments where there isn't a lot of affluent people, right? A lot of these kids are coming from, let's say the inner cities, not a lot of money floating around. I've always been an advocate that there should be programs to help these young men understand how to invest their money and sustain a life after the NBA. I know these players are playing longer, but that's only kind of as of recent. A lot of theyese players, man, they're in the league for 7, 8, 9 years, if that, and then you look up 2 years later and they got an orange smock on saying, I think nails are on aisle 7.
Yeah. Well, I saw an interview with Calvin Hill, and a reporter was there with Calvin. He was the Cowboy running back, and he's the father of Grant Hill, and so Grant Hill had to go. He had to excuse himself to go to his job. And the reporter was asking Calvin Hill, how come he's got to go to a job? You got a lot of money. He says, well, no. We're going to teach him responsibility of money. It's the worst thing that these people do when they earn a lot of money. All of a sudden, everyone comes out of the woodwork. And, they're paying this person. They're paying family members. They're paying that person. Then they end up broke because, they want to share the wealth. But who's going to look after you? So, no, we're going to teach them that value of the dollar. So Grant Hill, he knew what to do when he had it. So, more power to his parents for teaching him that lesson.
Yeah. Big lesson.
Oh, one other thing, too. When you were talking about the fans of New York, did you see there was another one of those contrasts? It was showing the fans of the Japanese soccer team.
Yeah.
Yes.
And on the other side was the fans of the New York team. The Japanese soccer team got trash bags and were cleaning up where they all were sitting. And then they were showing the New York fans, and they were tearing up the city.
Burning buses and whatnot.
Yeah.
Man, it just shows just the difference in cultural acceptances and norms. And it's pretty rowdy. Like I said, I know not all New York Knicks fans are horrible people, but there are some horrible New York Knicks fans, man. I'm just going to call it what it is, man. Those videos still, even a week later, man, just really upset me to see how some of the Spurs players or Spurs fans were treated in the street of New York after the loss of Game 3. Even after they won, Game 4, there were still situations where the Spurs fans were treated. And I just think back to games 1 and 2, where you had so many folks who flew in from New York because it was cheaper to fly into New York, fly into San Antonio, get a ticket, hotel, than it was to get a ticket back home. In San Antonio, although maybe they kind of looked at them sideways, nobody in San Antonio treated those people that poorly like that, or assaulted them or accosted them in any kind of way. Like I said, Texas, man, we just better people like that. Let's call it what it is.
We are.
Well, he hard. Boy, Marco hard, boy. He
Just
talking,
saying, man.
he talking mad. Shh. Yeah. Hey, let me give y'all his addresses. 4572.
Hey,
Four
hey,
five
hey,
seven
hey.
two.
No.
Michelangelo Lane.
No, I live in Costa Rica, man. I live in Costa Rica, man. You gotta come find me south of the border somewhere.
You're gonna watch soccer.
Yeah.
All
The
right, let me
fact
give
that
you
you
the answer to the trivia question.
Yeah,
So
what
the
you got?
question was, what's the last team that ever lost in the NBA championship, and then the very next year they won it?
Miami
So,
Heat.
Miami Heat. That's not the
No.
last one. They did it.
No.
You're right. They did it, but they're not the last ones.
Yeah, I am literally going on that one right there. I was either gonna go San Antonio or I was gonna go with the Lakers. Because I think no, he didn't win. He never won another one. So I'm gonna go San Antonio.
Denver. It has to be Denver.
Denver. Who is
No, the
it?
last one that did. This is the weird thing. Golden State Warriors. They beat 2016. They beat Cleveland, and then Cleveland beat Golden State. And then so
right.
they kept trading with each other.
Yeah,
So Cleveland lost to Golden State, then they beat Golden State, and then it was Golden State the next time.
That's right. Yeah, we were having that little
All those you
tennis match.
said was correct. It was just like, I was surprised how many teams had done it. I thought that was
but it fuels even more so. You got to be taught how to win by losing.
There you go. Okay.
Even if you won before, that loss, that whooping teaches you what you need to go back and do the next year to go win again. So it kind of it's on script. So
there's some type of motivation that comes when somebody says loser.
Yeah,
and you get motivated by it.
Yeah, you get motivated, man. Yeah.
Plus, like in San Antonio's case, and all they're young. Golden State was kind of young, so I guess if you get there a little early and lose, you can win it. Because it wasn't like when you said Miami, that was true, but that first year, that was the first year all three of them were together, so they hadn't learned how to win yet. So to go back with Marcus.
All right, Cowboys, Texans. All right, here we go.
So that means the Cowboys should win for the next 30 years. They have learned how to lose so well.
Don't get me started on that.
All right. Anything else you want to bring up? We got to bring up. Maybe next time we'll talk about soccer.
Yeah, World Cup.
Let's talk about the World Cup. It's here in the United States. It's got some great games. I think Friday the United States is playing up in Seattle. The reason I know that is my son is flying out there because it's cheaper to go fly up to Seattle and watch that game than it is to watch whatever game's going on at Jerry World, AT&T Stadium. So he's going up there Friday, so we'll see.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Let us know if you got the answer to the trivia question. What did you think? Can New York repeat? Or can San Antonio go ahead and return and learn their lesson and take home a trophy back to Texas? We'll find out, though, but let us know what you think. Like and share, subscribe. We'll see y'all next time. Have fun.